A warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India-Japan ties are entering a stronger phase with the partnership expanding from defense and maritime security to technology, manufacturing and investment. Recent high-level talks in New Delhi and the UP-Japan investment meet highlight how India's diplomatic engagement with Japan is translating into deeper strategic cooperation and growing economic opportunities. A report.
India and Japan have steadily deepened their strategic partnership, with defense cooperation emerging as a key pillar of their relationship. Both countries are now expanding this engagement into advanced technologies, defense manufacturing, and maritime security. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and Japanese Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi held high-level talks in New Delhi, focusing on military interoperability, defense production, and emerging technologies. The two sides reaffirmed their commitment to a free, open, and resilient Indo-Pacific.
現在、インド太平洋地域の安全保障環境は急速に複雑化し、不確実性が高まっています。両首脳のリーダーシップのもと、新大臣とともに日印の防衛関係をあるべき姿に迅速に引き上げたいと考えています。本日はそのために何が必要か、共に何に取り組んでいくのか、具体的に議論をしたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。ありがとうございました。
A new memorandum of arrangement on maritime security cooperation will strengthen coordination between the Indian Navy and Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force in maritime domain awareness, information sharing, search and rescue, and humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. India and Japan also reaffirmed cooperation on the Unicorn Integrated Communications Antenna System and agreed to explore further opportunities in defense technology and joint production. Maritime and military cooperation is also expanding through reciprocal naval visits, joint exercises, personnel exchanges, and access to ship repair facilities. With maritime security emerging as a key area of cooperation, both sides are also aligning their broader visions for a secure and resilient Indo-Pacific.
इंडियन ओशन और पब्लिक ओशन की सुरक्षा आपस में गहरे रूप से जुड़ी हुई है। इसलिए इंडिया के महासागर विजन यानी म्यूचुअल एंड होलिस्टिक एडवांसमेंट फॉर सिक्योरिटी एंड ग्रोथ फॉर ऑल इन द रीजन और जापान के फ्री एंड ओपन इंडो पैसिफिक इनिशिएटिव्स के बीच क्लोज अलाइनमेंट आज पहले से भी कहीं ज्यादा जरूरी है। हमारी मैरीटाइम लाइफ लाइन्स बढ़ती हुई वल्नरेबिलिटीज का सामना कर रही हैं। फ्रीडम ऑफ नेविगेशन, ओवरफ्लाइट और अनहिंडर्ड लॉफुल कॉमर्स को सुनिश्चित करना सिर्फ इकोनॉमिक नेसेसिटी नहीं है, बल्कि यह एक स्ट्रेटेजिक इंपेरेटिव भी है।
India-Japan ties now extend beyond traditional diplomacy, with growing cooperation in defense, technology, and investment. Uttar Pradesh is emerging as a key destination for Japanese companies. The UP-Japan Investment Meet 2026 brought a 200-plus member delegation to explore automobiles, electronics, semiconductors, advanced manufacturing, and green energy. Escorts Kubota announced a 2,025 crore rupees project in Jeddah, creating over 3,800 jobs, while Minda Corporation announced 1,166 crore rupees projects with potential for around 6,440 jobs. The scale of the Japanese business delegation also underlines the growing interest in Uttar Pradesh as a destination for investment and innovation.
मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि इतनी बड़ी डेलीगेशन 200 से अधिक जापान के उद्योग जगत से जुड़े हुए मित्र, वहाँ के निवेशक और वहाँ पे नवाचार से जुड़े हुए लोग आज उत्तर प्रदेश के दौरे पे आए हैं और उत्तर प्रदेश के साथ जो पार्टनरशिप हमारे यामानाशी प्रीफेक्चर के हुई है वो वहाँ का एक स्टेट है, उत्तर प्रदेश की तरह बड़ा प्रमुख स्टेट है। यामाची और उत्तर प्रदेश के बीच ये जो साझेदारी है, इससे बड़े पैमाने पे निवेश आएगा।
India and Japan are building a comprehensive partnership spanning defense, maritime security, technology, and investment. As strategic cooperation deepens, Japanese investments are creating new opportunities in India.
Every great sporting moment begins long before the game. Behind every cricket bat, football, and hockey stick is an industry driving performance. As India's sporting ambitions soar, Jalandhar in Punjab has emerged as one of the world's leading sports manufacturing hubs, with made in India equipment reaching athletes and markets across the globe.
India's passion for sports is reaching new heights. Strong performances at the Tokyo and Paris Olympics have inspired a new generation of athletes, while initiatives like Khelo India and Fit India are nurturing talent from across the country. As India prepares to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games and bids for the 2036 Olympic Games, its sporting ambitions continue to grow. That momentum is also driving a boom in sports manufacturing. At the heart of it is Jalandhar, Punjab, a city producing everything from cricket bats and footballs to hockey sticks, volleyballs and fitness equipment. Today, its world-class, made in India sports goods are reaching athletes and markets across the globe.
जो प्रधानमंत्री श्री मोदी के प्रयास हैं, उन्होंने जो मेक इन इंडिया का नारा दिया, उन्होंने जो खेलो इंडिया का नारा दिया, उससे इंडस्ट्री में काम बढ़ा है। और जो खेलो इंडिया का नारा है, उससे देश में खेलों के प्रति बच्चों की रुचि भी बढ़ी है। सरकार का प्रयास सराहनीय है। और अभी जो विगत केंद्रीय बजट आया था, उसमें खेलो इंडिया में मैक्सिमम फंड अलाट किया गया है, जिससे कि देश में आने वाले समय में बड़े स्तर पर स्टेडियम का निर्माण होने जा रहा है, जिससे खेलों में बच्चों की रुचि भी बढ़ेगी और हमारा कारोबार भी आशा बढ़ेगा।
Jalandhar is home to more than 1,000 sports manufacturing units and produces nearly 65% of India's sports equipment. Today, the city's factories combine skilled craftsmanship with advanced technology to produce world-class sporting goods that meet international standards. A new generation of young entrepreneurs is also driving innovation, helping transform Jalandhar into a global hub for sports manufacturing.
पिछले 70-80 साल से जालंधर दुनिया में जाना जाता है एज अ स्पोर्ट्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब, लेकिन आज तक जो मिडिल प्राइस और लो प्राइस जो सारे के सारे प्रोडक्ट होते थे जालंधर, उसके लिए जाना जाता था। लेकिन हमारी कंपनी का और मेरा और मेरी फैमिली का हमेशा से एक बिलीफ रहा है कि सिर्फ इंडिया में सबसे बेहतरीन होने से कोई रिस्पेक्ट नहीं मिलती। टू शो योर सेल्फ ऑन द ग्लोबल लेवल, एक वर्ल्ड स्टैंडर्ड के प्रोडक्ट्स बनाने की ज़रूरत है।
There was a time when Indian athletes relied on imported sports equipment. Today, Jalandhar-made sports goods are winning global recognition for the quality and affordability, with athletes and buyers around the world increasingly choosing made-in-India products.
हमारा जो प्रोडक्ट है, पहले हमने जो बनाया था तो हमने नेशनल लेवल पे उसको बना के इंडिया में पास किया। अब जब सब इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर इंडिया के खेलने लग गए, तो अभी हमारा जो प्रोडक्ट है वो बाहर के प्लेयर भी पसंद करते हैं और ख़रीदते हैं। सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हमारे डीलर्स हैं अभी हर कंट्री में। ये सबसे बड़ी बात होती है कि इंडिया का नाम हुआ। पहले क्या होता था, हमें बाहर के ब्रांड के ऊपर डिपेंड करना पड़ता था, और यहाँ के प्लेयर बाहर जाते थे, वो खरीद के लेके आते थे, वो बहुत महंगी होती थी। हमने रीज़नेबल रेट पे इनको वर्ल्ड वाइड प्रोडक्ट प्रोवाइड कर दिया जालंधर में, इंडिया में।
Beyond manufacturing, Jalandhar has also become one of the India's most premier destinations for sports shopping. Teams from across the country and around the world visit the city to source high-quality sports gear and complete team kits, making Jalandhar a one-stop hub for sporting excellence.
ਇੱਥੇ ਕਸਟਮਰ 올 ਓਵਰ ਵਰਲਡ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈ, ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈ, ਅਮਰੀਕਾ, ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ, ਜਿੱਥੇ जितने भी मतलब कि कंट्रीज हैगियां ने मोस्टली कस्टमर आते ही इधर. डेली कस्टमर कोई ना कोई आते हैं एंड उनको बढ़िया यहाँ पे डीलिंग लगती है एंड वो कस्टमर हमारे नंबर्स वगैरह भी लेके जाते हैं. वो फिर हमें बाहर से भी कॉन्टैक्ट करते हैं, वो फिर बाय कोरियर हमसे सामान मंगवाते रहते हैं.
Today, Jalandhar sports manufacturing industry is about more than business. It powers thousands of livelihoods, fuels innovation, and strengthens India's global sporting footprint. Driven by skilled craftsmanship, advanced manufacturing, and growing trust in Made in India, Jalandhar has emerged as one of the world's leading hubs for sports goods.
And now it's time for Asia This Week, bringing you the top stories shaping the continent.
Pakistan's Supreme Court has ordered authorities to transfer jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan to a hospital, addressing a long pending demand from his family and Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI) amid increasing concerns about his health. The 73-year-old has remained incarcerated since August 2023 following convictions in multiple cases which he and his supporters have called politically motivated. PTI welcomed the court's decision but said the order should have been issued much earlier. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung had called for bolstering the country's independent defense capabilities while stressing that annual civil defense exercises held alongside joint US-South Korea military drills are defensive in nature and do not target or threaten North Korea. His remarks at a cabinet meeting came after US President Donald Trump directed the Pentagon to substantially reduce joint military exercises with South Korea and said North Korean leader Kim Jong-un had responded to his outreach. Thai schools have intensified active shooter drills in the 2 weeks since a shooting that claimed at least 8 lives as authorities seek to improve safety measures. At a secondary school in Bangkok, students took part in a run, hide, fight exercise that began with a safety briefing before a simulated mass shooting was staged inside the building. An officer dressed in black and carrying an assault rifle and handgun acted as the mock gunman.
Moving on. Days after reports of Pakistani military action in Surab, Baloch protesters brought their anger to London, gathering outside 10 Downing Street and calling for an international probe into the deaths reported in Balochistan. Organized by the Baloch National Movement, the protest has once again put the Surab episode under global scrutiny. Take a look.
The anger over Surab has now reached the doorstep of the British government. Outside the 10 Downing Street in London, Baloch protesters gathered with photographs, placards and candles demanding justice for those killed in the recent Pakistani airstrike in Surab, Balochistan. Their allegation is stark. Pakistani military aircraft bombed a populated area in Surab. The protesters say civilians, including women and children, were among the victims.
This is not the first time that Pakistani military is using aerial power against Baloch civilian population. Before this, Pakistani army used drone strikes in Surab, which also killed innocent women and children. Today, we came here to demand and urge United Kingdom to press Pakistan to allow international organizations in Balochistan to investigate the incident, also to ask Pakistan, United Kingdom's mission in Pakistan to allow them to visit Balochistan so they can interview, they can visit the area and they can have direct interaction with the locals. Our call is from United Nations, European Union to also highlight this issue.
The incident that brought the protesters to London happened on August 12. In the Giddar Gundan area of Surab, reports emerged of Pakistani aircraft carrying out an aerial bombardment. Local reports put the death toll at more than 20, with some Baloch groups claiming around 30 civilians were killed, including women and children. Baloch activists have for years accused Pakistani authorities of using military operations, enforced disappearances, arrest and restrictions on protests to suppress political dissent in the province. The issue of enforced disappearances has also been raised by international rights bodies. The UN Working Group on Enforced Disappearances has repeatedly expressed concern over cases reported from Balochistan, while rights organizations have documented allegations of arbitrary detention and excessive use of force against Baloch activists. Balochistan's grievances are also linked to questions over political representation, provincial autonomy, and control over natural resources. The province is Pakistan's largest by area and has significant reserves of natural gas, copper, gold, and other minerals. Baloch political groups have long alleged that the province does not receive a proportionate share of the benefits from these resources, while development indicators remain among the weakest in Pakistan. The UN Development Programme has identified Balochistan as one of Pakistan's poorest regions, with high levels of multidimensional poverty and significant gaps in education, health, and basic services.
Balochistan's situation from the day one has been a political issue, and the resolution to this situation will always be a political one. But before any talk can take place, before any resolution can take place, the Pakistani state needs to withdraw from Balochistan its military power, because at the moment Pakistani state is trying to control Balochistan with military, with security personnel, with AK-47s, with gunship helicopters, with drone strikes. This is how they're trying to control Balochistan, which they have miserably failed. Unfortunately, the life which are being lost is mostly the Baloch people who are being targeted by the Pakistani state.
Pakistan, meanwhile, has continued to deploy security forces across Balochistan to counter armed separatist groups, including the Baloch Liberation Army and Baloch Liberation Front, which have carried out attacks on security forces, civilians, and infrastructure. The conflict has therefore developed on two parallel tracks: an armed insurgency on one side and a broader political movement demanding greater rights and accountability on the other. The Surab incident has now added a new international dimension to that conflict. At the London protest, the Baloch National Movement called on the UK government, United Nations, European Union, and international rights organizations to press Pakistan for access to the affected area and an independent investigation. For Baloch activists, the issue extends beyond one military operation. They want international scrutiny of what they describe as a continuing pattern of repression in Balochistan.
Tourism in India is more than travel. It's a major economy engine supporting millions of livelihoods. Today, we head to picturesque Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir, where tourism is powering the local economy. From hospitality and handicrafts to agriculture and small businesses, young people are turning the region's culture and natural beauty into new opportunities.
The journey through Pahalgam begins in its picturesque Apple Valley, where lush orchards welcome visitors with rows of fruit-laden trays. Tourists can savor fresh apple juice, explore homemade local produce, and soak in the valley's natural charm. Here, agriculture and tourism come together, creating livelihoods, supporting local businesses, and opening new opportunities for the region's young generation.
मैं यहाँ पे हूँ, मेरे साथ और 2 बंदे हैं, 3 बंदे हम यहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं, तो सब कुछ ना कुछ कमा ही रहे हैं यहाँ पे। तो इससे बहुत हेल्प मिल रही है हमको, जो टूरिस्ट आ रहा है यहाँ पे, टूरिज्म की वजह से बहुत हेल्प हो रही है यहाँ पे।
As the journey continues, Pahalgam's scenic valleys lead us to one of its most vibrant spaces, the bustling local market. The market comes alive with the colors and craftsmanship of Kashmiri art, handicrafts, and handlooms. From elegant shawls and dry fruits to traditional artworks and souvenirs, it stays vibrant with a steady stream of visitors.
हम एक अच्छी मैसेज दें बाहर लोगों को कि वो यहाँ पे आए, कश्मीर के अंदर अलग अलग जगहों, खूबसूरत जगहों पे आए, घूमें, शॉपिंग करें। हमारे पास एलिगेंट प्रोडक्ट्स रहते हैं।
मुझे पेपर मैशे मतलब इट हैज़ लाइक टच्ड माय हार्ट, मुझे बहुत पसंद आ गया है। हमने कुर्तीज़ भी लिए हैं हैंडवर्क के, तो हाँ, मुझे यहाँ का हैंडीक्राफ्ट भी बहुत पसंद आया है।
Betau Valley captivates visitors with its lush green meadows, flowing streams, and breathtaking natural beauty. The continuous flow of tourists bring fresh energy to the valley, while traditional livelihoods such as horse riding continue to support local families and preserve the region's unique tourism experience.
टूरिस्ट लोगों को हम वेलकम करते हैं, क्यों वो हमारी रोटी है, उनके हाथ से हम कमाई करते हैं, खाते हैं। वो
टूरिज्म बूम करता है तो बाकी सेक्टर्स भी अच्छे चलते हैं। So a lot of youngsters are dependent on it. A lot of startups are coming up, tourism industry se related.
The valleys of Pahalgam are known not only for their breathtaking beauty, but also for the thousands of aspirations and employment opportunities created through tourism. Here, tourism can become the heartbeat of local life, supporting livelihoods, empowering dreams, and driving the local economy towards a brighter future.
Pahalgam's beauty is driving business, jobs, and new aspirations. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.